Sometimes we see A levels is way more difficult than the other alternatives. Sometimes we see HSC is more difficult than the other alternatives. Taylor's University have for those students what they can do after their SSC and O levels.
We do have a American degree transfer program. So basically, we have 4 options for the student to join after their HSC or O level.
Hello everyone, welcome to Pi Talks. And again, today we have Mr. A.D. Sushanto with me with another new topic, obviously. And we're going to talk about today for our SSC and O level students. So welcome, Mr. A.D.
Thank you, Mr. Hassad. It is glad to be here again to share the information about how SSC student and O level student can progress into our program. Thank you.
Great. So there are a lot of students, for many reasons, right? They don't want to complete their 11 or 12 like HSC, or they don't want to do your A levels, and they need some alternatives, right? So I wouldn't say that they don't want to. Sometimes they can't, right? Sometimes we see A levels is way more difficult than the other alternatives, right? Sometimes we see HSC is more difficult than the other alternatives. So what options you can the Taylor's University have for those students? What they can do after their SSC and O levels?
All right. So SSC and O level is the same level. So after they finish this level, they can actually continue in our foundation program, which is 1 year only, or they can opt for A level, our A level, or Australia program. And we do have a American degree transfer program. So whichever program they choose will be depending on which pathway or which country that later on they would like to progress. Okay, so there are a lot of options for the student. So basically, we have 4 options for the student to join after their HSC or O level.
So you're saying they can do their foundation and that is for 1 year.
Mm.
So as I understand that A levels takes 2 years and HSC takes 2 years. So you mean if a student finishes his or her SSC or O levels and they do their 1 year foundation, they eventually save their 1 year of life?
Yes, definitely. Our foundation is only 1 year and pathway to our bachelor program. So if they do foundation for 1 year and plus bachelor program for 3 years, so total only 4 years, they can reach up to bachelor level.
So that's a great opportunity. I believe I could have once I was doing my A levels, but I never had that option do it because I had to complete my A levels and it took me 2.5 years. Not everyone takes 2 years. So I think this is a great opportunity because after your O levels, after our SSC, we can directly get into the Taylor's University Foundation. That will take 1 year and you will save your 2 years, right? So what benefits is bring, right? So if you're going right after your class 10 and not doing your A levels, it completely self your 1 year of your study time. So and then you do 1 year foundation and 3 years bachelor's. 4 years after you're 10, you are already graduated. And which is so basically in our country we always like to follow the traditional ways, like no that no, I want to complete my A levels or I want to complete my HSE. And actually what happens is we don't understand the difficulty of those programs of A levels, right? Because I believe A levels is very difficult when it is compared to O levels, because O levels is like in this height, but when we jump to A levels, it doesn't jump to this, it goes to this level. And then the difficulty starts for the students, because being a counselor, being a director of a company, I see a lot of students. I have met a lot of students who face difficulty doing A levels, and they waste their 2 years and they come back. Okay, I have not done good in my A levels. I want to have a other option. I want to be back on the track. And then we give them the foundation option, and they do foundation. They take 1 year. Why not? I don't see any good reason why not you go directly to foundation after your O level, because I believe if I compare foundation with A levels, foundation is much more easier than A levels, because I believe it's proper university, pre-university section. You go for the semester, You give mocks, quizzes, assignment, presentation, attendance. You have marks for all of this. But when we compare this with the HSC and A levels, it doesn't matter what you study the whole 2 years or 1 year, the decision will only depend on only one that day that you give the exam. So basically, I'm just saying, with one of my student, I was a teacher as well. So one of my student in A levels did very good in his mock, scored 90% and everything, because, and the exam day he got sick, so
Oh,
he couldn't focus on the exam. Only one that day, and his results were bad, and he lost all the motivation. So what's your thought on this? Like, what do you think?
Um, of course, foundation program is the fastest, or I can say, save cost and save time for them to eventually progress into bachelor as compared to A level. So A level you need to spend at least 1.5 year to 2 years. So in reality, those students who start from foundation, they will be able to reach the bachelor level 1 year earlier than A level student. So it is a great opportunity if the student wish to further study, they can consider our foundation program. In fact, our foundation program we have different pathway. If they would like to study engineering pathway, they can choose our foundation in engineering, or if they would like to progress into uh, like MBBS program, they can actually choose our foundation in science. Or if they would like to progress into business pathway, they can choose in our foundation in business. It is very specific to the pathway. So we have designed our foundation program in a way that it is help them to build the basic knowledge to progress into our bachelor program.
So I think that's the very good knowledge you have provided to us, because foundation is not something that you have to do some common subject like we do in every other program. Foundation creates a foundation on the specific subject which you do, right? If you are willing to do bachelor's in engineering, you will do foundation in engineering, right?
Yep.
If you do bachelor's of business, you will do foundation in bachelor's of business, and so on. So that's the best part of foundation. You will only study what you want to study. You don't need the extra subjects on that, and that's why that makes it easier and less time
Mm.
for the
Yep.
foundation, right? So Mr. Eddie, after our O levels or SSC, we talked about the foundation. So another program you mentioned that hit my mind, but I couldn't, ask that before moving forward with the foundation. That is, I've seen this program is very popular right now in Bangladesh, and a lot of students are going for those program, because in the current scenario, US visas are very tight and very difficult. As we know, US and Canada both are very tight. So currently, those who are applying, they're getting refused. Like 70 to 80% are getting refused. So that's the reason I've seen a change. They want to go to Malaysia for American degree transfer program.
Mhm.
A lot of inquiries are coming in. So can you explain about the program? What is this actually?
All right. So basically, we do have American degree transfer program. This program is actually a 4 years program, and student can actually complete 2 years in Malaysia to save the cost, and later on they can progress into top university in US. We do have Ivy League University like Brown University, Columbia University, Cornell University. So student can actually study American degree transfer program with us for 2 years, or complete at least 60 credit hours to save the cost in Malaysia, and then later on they can progress into top university in US. So basically for those all level student or SSC student, as soon as they finish their qualification, they can start their American degree transfer program with us for 2 years. In another way, instead of continuing with A level in Bangladesh here, or continue with HSC, which is 2 years, they can actually start their American degree transfer program pathway with us. So 2 years will be in Malaysia, and then next 2 years will be in US.
So I'm actually very confused, or I maybe missed some information from you while you were saying.
Mm.
You're saying we can study American degree transfer program after our O levels and SSC,
Yep, yep. They can start right after O level or SSC.
and they don't need some extra years. In 4 years, we finish the bachelor's.
Yep,
2 years in Malaysia and 2 years in US or Canada.
yep. And of course, 2 years in Malaysia, uh, they have to complete 2 years. Then, then only they can progress into US. And let's say in halfway, let's say student is coming from SSC and O level. If let's say they study in Malaysia for let's say 1 year, and then later on they do not plan to go to US, then they have to actually complete the entire American degree transfer program for about 61 credit hours, which is about 1.5 years to 2 years. Then only they can progress into our bachelor program. Some of the students they may want to go to US. Yes, they may first say want to go to US, but after come to Taylor University, they like Taylor University a lot and they enjoy the environment. And at the end of the day, they say, "Oh, I don't wish to go to US, so I'll rather stay in Malaysia." So in this kind of situation, student is required to complete at least 2 years or 61 credit hours. Then only they can start with our bachelor program. So if we are looking at the duration, they are actually not wasting their time. They are not so called like it is comparable with L
So
level.
eventually, they had to do the 2 years A
Yeah.
levels to be in the
Mm.
Taylor's University, right?
Yep.
So, but
The
there are-
duration wise is still the same.
So I would like to say this to everyone who, as we all knew that we have a traditional way of studying abroad. If you want to go to US or Canada, what we do we're SSC and HSC, and we do O levels and A levels, and then we apply to universities in America or Canada. But what Mr. AD said today is, after your O levels, you can apply to Taylor's University with their American degree transfer program, and it will not take any extra year for you to complete your bachelor's in America, because it will only take 4 years, 2 years in Malaysia, 2 years in US. So eventually you get your US dreams, you save your 2 years, and you finish your bachelor's in 4 years.
Yeah. So to top up what I have explained just now, like example like O level SSC student, when they start with our American degree transfer program, they will complete in 2 years, as compared to those students who are coming to progress into A level, they will also need to study about 2 years, and then both student also they can actually progress into our bachelor. So the duration is the same. To complete the bachelor, just need another 3 years. If at the end they do not plan to go to US, so there is a option for them to choose either go to US or they can have alternative plan to continue with our bachelor as well.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you, Mr. AD, for the information you have provided today for all the SSC and O level students. And I think this will enlighten, and this will give them a lot of information about the programs they can have alternatively of their A levels or HSC. So there are options for the students to have these subjects they can study, right? After their O levels, then eventually they can save their 2 years of time. They can have the easier structure of life, not to be involved so much difficult curriculum like A levels. So yeah. So what message do you have for our SSC and O level students? Because the next intake is very near. It's in February, I guess. So what message do you want to give to our students?
Okay, so for those students who are planning to go to US or even to Canada, they are encouraged to apply right after their O level and or SSC to save their time, so that they can go to US through our American degree transfer program pathway. So our next available intake will be in February intake. February
Perfect.
intake, and then next.
And next, so April and August intake. So thank you, Mr. Hedi, for coming today. And I know it's time for you to leave, and we will like to invite you to come next time, and we will talk about all the A levels and HSC students, how they can go for bachelor's university and Taylor's University for bachelors, and what scholarship option we have for them, and what subjects they can study.
Mm.
So thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for watching this Pi Talks. And we will be coming back with Mr. AD for another session, and we will give you more details about Taylor's University. Till then, thank you.